Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today we're going to be covering an experiment in joy. And I'm really excited with this. My guardian angel, John, is all about joy and happiness and fulfillment. And so here we are on another beautiful day on this planet. And it really is in so many respects. We can choose to see it that way or not. It's a free will zone, right? It is a free will zone. So an experiment with joy. When John said it's important that people not just hear what some things are that we say, but it's important also that people know from their own experience what is true and what is not true. We're going to get into that in just a few moments. I want to say good morning to everybody. Hi, Desiree and Janine and Patricia, Betsy, Amanaj. Yes, Allison. Hi, Mike. Wonderful. I've been watching our male audience starting to grow, which is a really beautiful thing because men really need to understand this whole divine feminine aspect of self that we have, right? It's been so fragmented off from the male consciousness, which has caused horrific imbalances in our social and political structures for the last few thousand years. And so I'm really good to see the male audience growing because this energy of spirit, the energy of God is predominantly feminine. It is the principle that shapes and organizes that feminine energy into the conditions of our life that is male, the male principle and the female principle. Male is and we all have the male principle, we all have the female principle of energy. That's what we are. We are a male, female consciousness blended in a creative process. And when you when the two come together, they become something different than what they can be on themselves. So the energy principle. So welcome male members today. And I look forward to seeing that number go up as we get more into the practicality of this, because men are doers, right? As men, we like to do things, and so if we give you things to do, it's going to inspire you to know from your own experience what is true and what is not true. And this is what John pretexted all of this today when we were speaking earlier. That's important that people be able to experiment with what we are saying to you, so that you understand from your own experience that what we say is not just idle words, but actual realities that you can experience from your own experience of doing certain things. So an experiment with joy, and it's really ridiculously simple. An experiment with joy is very simple. It's something that they've had me do for a while now. And what you want to do, you want to literally find a place where there's as many people around as possible. And you want to go there and you want to settle yourself down there and just observe the general tone of the space around you, the people, how they are, whether there's children playing. Just observe what is going around you and don't be attached to anything at the moment. Just observe. Get a general tone. And once you get a general tone, then move your awareness. There's several ways you can do this. One, you can either go there, sit yourself down, relax, take a couple deep breaths, get yourself centered in the present moment. It's really important that you be in the present. But you can use, if you can't just move yourself into a state of joy and just feel joy instantly and just go into that vibration of joy. If you can't do that, then use a memory you have that gave you great joy. Use a memory that you have that gave you great joy, or use something that if you had it would give you great joy. You want to use something that stimulates and awakens the vibration of joy electrically in your system. Because remember, when you think a thought, it moves electrons through the brain. The flow of electrons through the conductive substance of your neural system produces an electromagnetic current, right? Of any flow of electrons through conductive surface produces an electromagnetic current. That electrical and magnetic current, the magnetic current is wider than the actual flow of the electrons, right? Because it's a field around it. So you want to get into that state of joy, either imagined, or you can just generate it yourself, or remembered. It must be a state of joy. So what you want to do then is you want to get into that state of joy and you want to feel it. You want to get it strong in your body so you're feeling it. Because what's going to happen, the stronger, the more attention you give it, the stronger the vibration is, the broader and wider the range of the electrical magnetic field will reach. It will reach further the more intense the emotion is, right? And it'll actually go a lot further than that, but from the perspective of immediacy, the magnetic field will go up to as much as 16 feet if you're in an intense enough state of joy. But even beyond that, there are going to be electron particles of that energy being cast out even further, right? So you want to get into that state of joy, whether it's sitting on a bench or you're leaning up against a tree, but you want to get in that state of joy, make sure there's lots of people around, and then watch what happens as you go into that state of joy and go deeper and deeper and deeper into, so that you're feeling it. Even if you find your body starts laughing, it doesn't, just allow yourself. You want to observe, listen, observe with your eyes, observe with your ears, because you want to train your mind and body that you are able to organize and reorganize matter, time, and space on its behalf with your energy, so that your body will start to trust more of itself to you, because it'll know, oh, they're going to think this, they'll create that. Because listen, if you're thinking about something bad happening in your life, your body doesn't know that's not a real event, but your body will react as if it is, because your body cannot distinguish between fantasy and reality. It does not have the reasoning capacity to do that. You do. You soul, you sentient, beautiful ball of light, you are able to reason. You are able to think. Your body and mind can only react. It cannot reason as you can as a sentient being soul. So you want to get into that state of joy. You want to radiate out. And as you're doing that, you want to observe with your eyes and listen with your ears how people start to react around you. They're not going to necessarily be paying attention, but their behavior will begin to change. If you're into the energy strong enough, you'll start to see people, maybe you'll start hearing laughter. Maybe butterflies and other animals will start coming around you, but something to reflect the quality of the joy that you're in is going to happen. I've done this hundreds of times in different places, in vegetarian restaurants, out in parks, walking down the street. I do it every day because I want to radiate joy in my life. I want to radiate love in my life. I want that to be my experience. And so for that to be the experience, you got to create the energy, because the energy organizes matter. Energy organizes matter. John kept saying this. Tell people energy organizes matter. It's important to hear that over and over again. Energy organizes matter. Like this body, the way I'm communicating this information through it now is causing this body to behave this way. It's behaving according to the energy I put into it, right? I can put depression and sadness through it. The energy organizes matter. Every great actor that's ever been a great actor knows that, that when they go into the energy of a character, their body becomes the character. They become the character. Their energy becomes that character. So you want to become that joy, and you want to watch how it affects and influences people around you. You want to become an influencer, not subjective to your TV and your newspapers and your radio and your television and other people's bad problems. You want to become an initiator of love and joy on this planet. And you don't have to go out and preach and scream and yell at people. You just have to be in the energy. And if you're in that energy and it's strong enough, it's going to infect and influence people in the most profound ways. And it'll blow your mind. It'll just blow your mind. So that was the experiment in joy that John said he wanted to give everybody today. Yeah. So go into that. Like go out somewhere where there's going to be as many people as possible, and go into that vibration of joy. By the way, the protests here in Toronto turned out to be quite peaceful, which is what they said would happen, because that's the state of consciousness that I went out and I walked all up and down Yonge Street and through alleyways and all these different places, just radiating love, because I know that the bricks and the stones and the trees, everything that you come into contact with gets your energy. Dr. Emoto did a wonderful experiment with water where he took water and he put love and joy into water, and then he froze the water and he looked at the crystalline structure. The crystals in the water became highly organized. And we do this all the time with every thought you think. They're bringing out this second movie called The Secret Number 2, right? It's no secret. It's been around for 1,000 years. Master Jesus was teaching it 2,000 years ago. He's teaching it today. It's still being taught today by many, many others. It's no secret. Thought forms. Your thoughts organize matter. And the emotions that are bound with that thought determines the rate, frequency, and intensity that condition of matter will come as an experience. So the stronger the emotion to it, the stronger the result. So I've worked with people who had strokes and comas and have been in comas, and I've worked with them. And when I was first beginning to understand this principle, again, I wasn't aware that I had Raphael and other beings working with me at the time, but when I first began to discover this principle, it was with a woman who had been in a coma for 30 days. And her husband had found out about the work that we do with a nurse, through a nurse, and he called me, and he and his wife had apparently fallen on the floor and hit her head and had a massive subdural hematoma in the left cerebral hemisphere and was in a severe coma. And the doctors basically told him she's going to be a vegetable for the rest of her life, and he should have her put into an institution because it would be too much for him to manage on his own. And I said, well, I don't know what we can do, but we'll see. So I went down the hospital, and the first things I did, I whispered into her left ear. I whispered, You're going to open your eyes in 3 days and you're going to remember everything. I just whispered that. At the time, I wasn't realizing what I was feeling. When I go back, I realized how much I was feeling reaching this person. Like I was feeling like I was like holding this person, not as a body, but holding them. I don't have other words for it. Anyway, 3 days later, there's a fire in her air conditioning unit in a hospital, which is North York General Hospital here in Toronto. And the fire department came in. She woke up. She woke up. Her eyes suddenly opened. Now, she'd been in a coma for 30 days, so she had a condition called TEMS, so that everything was all seizing up. The muscles and tendons and ligaments were seizing up. Long story short, from that point forward, he said, can we do more than this? Because all she could do, she could open her eyes, she could say yes and no. She could communicate now with her eyes. So I spent the next few months working with this individual. Again, if I had fully understood the principle, then it would have gotten a profoundly different result. And anyway, over the period of 6 months, she got mobility back, her arms back, she walks, she can talk, has all of her general things back, not 100%, but most of it back. Understanding the principles the way that they've explained it to me since then, that the more intense an emotional energy is, the more pronounced its physical effect. So if I had known to put more emotion into that being's energy, the body would have reacted and changed. But she's medically speaking, she had no functional nervous system, but had locomotion, ability, sound, cognition, all those things were still there. And they told me the reason that happened is because DNA in your cells can be triggered to pick up the function. So a cell can be turned into any other cell if you can stimulate the commands in the DNA to alter change. That all being said, understanding, the point is to understand that thought and emotion affect matter. And like I said, I had signs everywhere that woman would look in her room. There would be a sign saying something about her glandular system being perfect and vibrant and strong. And then I would be there with her, and we would chant this to her, like really getting into the feeling of it. So you want to understand that when you know this and you understand this, and you can deliberately and intentionally amplify a wavelength, an emotional field, you'll change and affect the DNA much faster, right? And that's providing that the subject is also willing to receive that energy. They have to be willing to receive that energy. If they're in a comatose state, then you have to talk to the soul, right? That's the other thing I learned since then too. When the body is unconscious, it does not necessarily hear our words. It will hear thoughts more than it'll hear words. So please go out today when you have a chance and experiment with joy, because the only way you're going to know what follows forth from here on in these shortcuts for the soul is through your own experience of what it is we say here. For if we continue to speak without offering you some process, a practical methodology for understanding that what we say is true from your own experience, we would be wasting your time from your perspective. We do not wish to do that. We do not waste our own time. Why would we waste anybody else's? So go out and experiment with joy today. Experiment with joy today. Like really experiment with it, so that you're feeling it. You're feeling it and you're radiating out, and observe what happens with people around you. If you want, if you see people that are unhappy, get to a certain proximity of them and do that too. If you see people that don't look like they're very happy, get relatively close. Don't be obvious, but move into that state of joy and just radiate it out and watch what happens. It's pretty amazing. And then when you've done that, please let us know in the comment section on the next episode of this, or in the comment section below this video. Remember, thought, once you think a thought, it sets in motion a flow of electrons. That flow of electrons through the conductive material of your brain or your nervous system creates an electromagnetic field. The stronger the emotion is with the thought. So the thought stimulates the energy. The movement of the energy is the emotional field. The stronger the emotional field, the more pronounced its effects on time, space, and matter. I love that. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are drinking water while we do these shows. Very important. You should have water on hand, because when you're receiving this type of information and knowledge, it stimulates the brain to a different level of activity. It stimulates your awareness, your soul, to a different level of self-awareness. And that stimulation in self-awareness and that stimulation biomechanically requires proper conductivity. So make sure you're drinking good water, or you're at least eating some fresh fruit which has water in it. and has living energy in it. You want to keep your electrical, vital life energy up high so you can integrate the information that's being downloaded into all of us at this time. And it's happening all over the planet, not just through this, but universally in human consciousness. We are being elevated, whether we're conscious of that fact or not. There's a massive change in human collective unconsciousness that's in full swing right now, which is why it's affecting the globe. And there's a lot of thoughts and feelings on this being something that's perpetrated to harm and hurt people, but there is an intelligence. I don't care who you are, how much money you are, what position of power you're in. There's an intelligence that's beating your heart right now, and it governs your life. And it can stop your heart if it wants to stop your heart. It can make your heart go if it wants to make your heart go. There's an infinite intelligence that's vastly more potent than we are. So get in alignment with that vibrational frequency that gives life. Get in alignment with life, with the love, the joy, the vitality of life, and let it engage your life. Anyway, good morning again, everybody. Let's get into this a little bit now. So please do your experiment with joy. And if you've got, we're going to do some Q&A now, which is always a fun part of the program. And we're going to see where we are here. Hi, Nicole. I'm just going to scroll up to the top. Hi, Robin. Thank you for that $5. Do you have a message for your line from Frida Ernest? Oh, hang on a second. It's funny how that shifted gears. Yeah, there's something about. So I don't know why they're saying this. There's something about something behind them. Behind them, just a few years ago. Something behind them a few years ago, maybe as much as no, just a few years ago. Something behind them a few years ago. They're still allowing that to affect them. Whatever that is, they're still allowing that to affect them. They can't be fully present. They have to release their attachment to that event that happened a few years ago. They got to release their emotional attachment to that event. It keeps them weaker now. Tell them to bring themselves into the present, to really align themselves to being in the present moment, to being with their heartbeat. You can tell them to be with their heartbeat, and feel what life has to offer them in this now, in this moment. Thank you. Great question. And that is so true. If you really sit and just put your hand over your heart, and really, there's something inside your body that loves you. It's giving you life. Isn't that amazing? Just like feel it for a moment. Like it is with you right now. It's not there yesterday. It's not there. It's with you right this instant, this incredible holy instant that we are all alive right now. Feel that. Can you feel that? It wants you to feel that. It wants you to feel its presence so that you can become one with it. It doesn't want to be separate from us. It can't be anyway, but we can be from it by illusion. Thank you for that question, Robin. Wow. Wow, wonderful. Courtney, thank you for that $20 donation. I really appreciate that. Wondering if there's any message for me from my family. I've been thinking about my GMA lately. I don't know why, but the first thing just coming up is laughter. Just laughter. Laughter and something about joining hands, and there's a circle of you. There's a circle of you, and there's like this red and white light that's going through all of you in a circle, and they want you to feel that. They want you to feel it. It's coming in your left hand and going out your right. If you do this, you can even put your hand in the position like you're holding their hands, and just feel the energy as it comes in the left hand, comes up and through and goes out the right hand, and just allow yourself to feel that flow of that connection. They want you to feel the flow of the connection so that you know the connection is never broken. The connection is never broken. It is always there. Just the form of the connection changes, but we can always tap into it. So please let us, Courtney, let us know how you experience that energy from them. It's a lot of joy and playfulness. Yeah, the connection, and the words just keep coming back. The connection is never broken. feel it in here. But yeah, coming in through the left hand, going out to the right. Just be with that. I can feel the joy of that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Courtney. Wow. It is an amazing thing when you realize that the only thing that separates us from anything is nothing. Nothing separates us from anything except our perception, right? And our identification with matter, thinking this is the only reality, right? But those that we love, that we have an intimate connection with, the bounds of time and space are limited based on the bounds of time and space. But your awareness is unlimited in its capacity to perceive alternate realities, to perceive your guides and your angels, and to tap in and tune into them. They're like with us all the time. Like they really are. It's an amazing thing. And when you start to allow it, just allow it, right? And it takes practice, just shifting your perception. It's like if I ask you guys to tell me what is an ornithorhynchus. If I ask you to tell me what is an ornithorhynchus, a vast majority of you will not have any idea of what an ornithorhynchus is. That's because you don't have a built-in framework to identify it, even though you know and can hear the word ornithorhynchus. Some of you might get bird out of that, but ornithorhynchus, the brain is not connected to the meaning of that word for a variety of reasons. It knows the word, but it doesn't know what it means. But if I were to say to you that ornithorhynchus is the same as duck-billed platypus, then your brain suddenly goes, familiarity, right? A connection is made. And it's the same thing too. When you can make a connection in awareness to the non-physical realms of energy, your guides, your angels, people that are in non-physical dimensions of consciousness, once you learn how to shift your perception, your awareness, suddenly you become aware of them. And they like that too, especially if they've left the body. Somebody who has not left the body and they're not conscious, they were so caught up in being the person they thought they were, that when the body ceases to function, they literally think they're not awake. They think they're asleep. They think they're unconscious. And they are, for all intents and purposes, because they do not have a frame of recognition of who they were. Just like the ornithorhynchus and the platypus, you had no recognition of this one. So when a person leaves the body, they think that they're the ornithorhynchus when they leave the body. But once they remember that they're the duck-billed platypus, suddenly they become conscious again. Right? Yes, I know. So once you understand, the minute you think about somebody that is not in physical form, you're setting up an electronic connection to them instantly. And if you become very aware of the flow of the feeling when you think about that person, because energy knows where it goes. I tell my left hand, move the left index finger. It does that. The energy knows where it's going to go. The energy's been trained to go there, right? See? It's trained to go there. So when you think about, I want to connect to my mother or my father, the minute you think that, you set up a flow and energy towards that consciousness. And if you've tuned yourself and become allow yourself to become sensitive, you'll feel their energy respond. Because if they're asleep because they weren't awake, if they're asleep and you suddenly send a message, your flow of electrons is like an alarm clock. It sends a flow that brings the platypus into their awareness. They're an ornithorhynchus, and suddenly you remind them that it means platypus, and they can become aware and present. But we'll get into that again. If you want, you can come take our course. Come take our courses and classes in September and learn to do this. This is natural. We all have this. We are not just physical beings alone, right? Yes. Question. Betsy, do all humans on the planet today need to prepare for problems in food production? Some channelers have said this, and I would love a second opinion. It's interesting you're asking this question today, Betsy, because Master Jesus yesterday, do I have that list around still? I think I do right here. Oh, wait, did I put you over there? Oh, no, sorry. Norma took the list. Norma wanted to go over the list because we're compiling it into a few things. Master Jesus talked about the need for us to take responsibility for a part of the earth. And when I asked him what he meant by that, he said, literally, you should learn to grow your own food. And then he reminded me that there are technologies that will let you, even if you're in a condominium or a small space, you can buy these little food production towers that you can grow through aeroponics and aquaponics. You can grow food right in your home. But he said it's important. People were put here to take partial responsibility for the earth. So if you got a piece of property, put a small garden in and learn to do that. It's giving the earth attention, and she'll give you love back, right? That's what the food is. Food is earth's love offered back to us. And she loves us unconditionally. So yeah, Master Jesus said yesterday that it's really important that you learn to have a relationship with the earth. That relationship includes cultivating food. And I think they should be teaching this to children right from the get-go. We should be showing our children how to plant seeds and to watch them grow and the wonder of that. You watch this tiny little seed and how this stuff called soil that you would tell your child, don't eat that stuff, right? And all of a sudden it becomes this plant. Now you're telling them to eat the plant. Wouldn't make any sense to a child at first. Why can I eat the plant, but I can't eat that? Right? Interesting, eh? The transformation and transmutation of energy from one state to another is the nature of divine spirit. It just is in a constant state of dynamic change, right? So yes, absolutely. Great question, Betsy. Thank you so much. Gina, so I didn't imagine that I danced with the dragonflies in my yard. I didn't imagine that I danced with the dragonflies in my yard and felt they were responding to me. I'm not sure how to understand that question, but absolutely. If you were allowing yourself to, even if you go into a deep enough imaging of it, your system will generate a reaction to it. Because remember, all creation begins with imagination. Every conceivable reality that any human has ever conceived of exists in time, space, or at least in the quantum field. It's why when, about 100 years ago, people thought Tesla was mad when he had a radio-controlled boat. They thought he had a demon inside a little box that he was controlling that boat with, and they thought it was scary stuff. And they were afraid of him because it was unknown. Once you understand that your imagination sets matter into movement to become a manifestation, even if it's for a brief time, the manifestation may not happen right away because it requires a certain amount of emotion. But the minute you can go into the energy of those dragonflies, like I can literally feel them landing on my hands right now. The spirit of those dragonflies literally landing on my hands. And so yeah, when you go into the image deeply enough, you're going to feel it. It's all creation begins with imagination. Medicine, conventional medicine does not like this idea. Conventional medicine, the way it's structured today, does not like the idea that our imagination can stimulate your body to heal. There are lots of doctors who've talked about miracles, but miracles are natural phenomena of a movement of energy. So whether it's dragonflies or healing a wound or restoring a kidney, if you go deeply into the sensation and the feeling and the image of it, then the cells in the body will begin to respond. The consciousness, the energy begins to reorganize itself. Please go watch the video of the gentleman from Australia who regenerated his spinal cord so he could walk again. He'd been in a wheelchair for 25 years. And there are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of stories like that of people rejuvenating their body, rehealing their body. And doctors say, well, you're very fortunate that happened. No, that the will of that person, the vibration, the desire, set energy in motion, gave commands to DNA to reorganize matter, time, and space. So whether they're dragonflies coming to you in the image of another dimension or in the physical world of that backyard, whatever you imagine begins to manifest as an existing condition in your physical reality. Fascinating. And I got this funny question. Well, how come if I imagine, the planet blowing up, it doesn't blow up? Because the amount of emotional energy that you have to be able to generate to interfere with the consciousness of a being that size is way beyond your individualized capability to do so, because you just don't have that kind of awareness. You don't have that kind of connectivity to an infinite field. Although we do have that, everybody has that, but being able to activate or actualize that is another thing. Sorry, Mother. Yeah, I just said, what are you talking about? Don't do that. Okay, I'm sorry. Katya is asking, would I be a good researcher and developer in healthcare? That is if you're going to care for health. If you're really going to care for health, then you'll be very, very good in healthcare. But most of what you call healthcare on this planet today is disease care. It is not healthcare. Healthcare is a process of instructing those you wish to serve that they have within them the capability to generate existing conditions in matter, time, and space that would promote the well-being of them at any time. Each and every one of you have within you a divine consciousness that does whatever you ask it to do. But many of you start to ask and then you stop. You don't get your results immediately. You want your instant gratification. But many of you aren't willing to take the time and necessary energy necessary to produce the result. You have to learn to do that. You have to stick with it until you get a result. You cannot have a pile of bricks and ask them to build a house. You have to pick the bricks up and put them together. If you want to heal your spine, or you want to heal that condition, you've got to get so strong into the emotional, the building blocks of energy that will restore that. Go into that. So yes, absolutely, you would be very good at healthcare if that is the focus. If your focus is health and not disease, then you will be very good in healthcare. It's time to care for health. Thank you. That's a great question. Vanessa is asking, am I addicted to my phone? Would reducing its use help me to concentrate on studying? They're saying you've already answered the question, dear one. We're puzzled as to why you would ask it when you understand the nature of your use of it. Anything that would interfere with something else you are doing is an interference. The question is, would you choose to continue to interfere with your own desired outcome or not? It is not for us to decide whether or not you use your phone or do not use your phone enough. What is important, you understand that you are capable of establishing the result you wish. If you think your phone is interfering, then please put it down and do your studies. But do them with joy and do them with fun. Do not do them with the anticipation of the dread that you hold in the back of your mind about the success or failure of your endeavor. That would be a very prudent use of your energy to release your attachment to the possibility of failure. You will find that you will not have an attachment to your phone. It would not be perceived that way. And your efforts towards studying will be far more effective. Wow. Thank you, Vanessa. So our magical Buddha is, what do you do when your higher mental energy from unknown sources becomes very hard to physically bear? Wow, that's a very profound question. And grounding, period. Go out and ground. If you find your mind is getting the higher vibrational energy to bring with upper level energies, I've never had that problem because I go out and ground every day. I go ground 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day, where I go and I get on the earth and I feel the earth, and I just let the body get resynced energetically. And then any higher frequencies that come down, I bring them in. I allow them to integrate into the body, and I allow the body to ground to the earth so that the energy doesn't overwhelm the system, right? It's why they put lightning rods on top of strong buildings, right? So the current gets pulled down through to the earth. So go out and ground. If you find you're getting really higher vibrational mental energies, yeah, please go out and ground, and you'll find you'll be able to integrate and hear and feel them very differently. Great question. Thank you. Yes. Allison's asking, my jumpiness frightens others. Is this the result of so many years in the game reserve, or am I lacking? Wow, there's nothing lacking. Yes. If you are working in a game reserve, they're saying that it's very important you understand the vibration of fear and how it works in the animal kingdom exclusively. There's not one among you who would live in a state in fear that would survive for very long out in the wild unless they were adequately able to protect themselves. The vibration of fear is an energy that is a signal to those in the animal kingdom that there is a potential food source, or there is a potential threat. It is important you understand that vibration and learn to release it. Release it. Release it. Release the vibration. Do not let it have a place within you. That will actually allow you to become more alert. The vibration of fear tends to collapse your awareness to a focal point of limited perception. So you want to release your fear. Your ears and your eyes will be far more alert than what they are with your fear. Your fear collapses your energy to a localized point, which is why you are jumpy with these people, because they're a localized point and your energy goes to that. Release your fear. Release your fear. Literally, anytime you feel that fear, breathe it and release it until it's out of your body, until it's away from you. Then you can see and hear very differently without that in the way. But it's understandable if you have that in your system why you would be afraid, because fear is a signal to other creatures in nature that there's a potential meal or a potential threat. Hi, Desiree. As asked, thank you, Desiree, for that $5 donation. Really appreciate it. Any messages from my higher self and guides? Wow. They're saying it's important. You need to listen more from here. You're trying to figure too much out up here. Follow this. Follow this. Can you be more specific about that? That's so cliche. Listen to the words in your heart, not the words in your head. Go into your heart and ask for the words to be given from your heart. You will find that your interpretive mechanism may represent the communication there as symbols, as colors that will give you a sensation of feeling, and allow that sensation of feeling to be that which would direct you. You may do this in many areas of your life right now. Do not keep yourself limited to here. Go into here. Into here. Yeah, they're saying there's more, but I'm not going to get into that right now because they don't want to get into that right now with you. But but go into that place and again, learn how to do that. Learn to listen to your heart. Like your heart is where your life is emanating. The spark of life, I mean, it doesn't emanate from there, but it works through here all the time, 24/7, right? And if you can get in alignment with that energy, you can ask it anything, and it will tell you yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, good or bad. It'll tell you. We have a whole section on sensing energy within your heart that lets you identify how to read the vibrations in relation to the questions you have for your life. You can learn how to talk to your guides and angels. Any of you can. Thank you for that question, Desiree. Carolyn's asking, may I please ask Master Jesus what my dad meant when he said he doesn't want to upset my apple cart. It was in my reading with you, and I was hoping for clarity if possible. Thank you. Hi, Carolyn. Wow. I'm yeah. Hang on, Carolyn. I'm going to write this down, and then when I'm finished today, Carolyn, I'll send this to you. Okay, I'll send this to you when I finish this today. Let's see. Wow. Hi, guys. Everybody's so full of light and light here. It's beautiful. Yes, we are all telepathic. Hi, Susie. Thank you for that $20. I really appreciate that. Is there any message for me? I'm getting a lot of heat coming in right now. I know it's from Master Jesus too because of the question that Carolyn asked. You have water handy? If you got some water, drink some water. But I'm getting strong words, cool it. I don't know why they're saying it. Cool it. The words cool it are coming in. The words cool it. I don't know what that's in relationship to, but it's very strong. Like almost like slowing down, cool it, hold back, put your brake on. I don't know what that's in relation to, but I get a feeling that there's something that you're trying to push forward with. Don't push so hard right now. Cool it, whatever that is. Don't push so hard on that. Pull back a bit, and allow something to come towards you rather than pushing forward so fast and hard right now. Cool it a bit. Very strong. Very strong. Wow. Cool it. Thank you so much. Thank thank you for that $10, Janine. I appreciate that. From thank you for the supers. That's a super sticker. Thank you. That was a question. Question from Louise. I've created a garden and enjoy it very much. Did this give some kind of what we could call joy to the birds, insects too? How could I notice that? I got Gaia coming in. She's saying, how can you not know that joy is the extension of my expression, whether that be a blade of grass or a tree? That which gives life gives joy. And you have given joy to this place. You have given much joy to this place. You may even stand in the middle of your garden if you wish to truly know the gift that you have given and receive it in kind. Go into the middle of your garden and be there and feel the light I am coming to you. Wow. So yeah, if you can go physically into the middle of your garden, I personally would love to really hear back of your experience here. Go into the middle of your garden, and Gaia is saying she'll like literally send light up through you to let you know what she feels about what you did, and the rest of the answer, the rest of the flies and the insects and the bugs, the answer will be obvious. But she says she wants to give that to you. So go to the middle of your garden and just allow that energy to come up through your feet. Wear bare feet. If you can, wear bare feet in the garden, and really just keep your knees slightly bent so that you don't lock it. So you don't lock them, just slightly bent so the flow can come up. And please, I'd love to know what your experience is of that. Thank you. You're welcome, Allison. Question from Janine. Is my ear ringing and headaches an ascension symptom, or is it medical? It has been happening for such a long time. Any advice? Now, there are a lot of different things about this. I mean, I hear higher frequencies all the time. I'm just not, it's like right now there are millions of frequencies, okay? There's a countless number of ranges of frequencies. In this physical human world that we live in, we got thousands of different TV stations, thousands of different radio stations, and there's still just not even a fraction of the creative elements of radio waves and radio lengths and frequencies. Everyone is a different frequency. I can take a cell phone, I can take a tablet, I can take a radio, I can take a TV, and I can tune into many different frequencies with these devices. Your body is a transmitting and receiving system. And so it's natural you're going to be picking up many different frequencies. The question you're asking, is this detrimental to you? Well, I would say from what I've been told, because I can tune into that frequency that's what some people call ring. I'm aware of it. And when I go into that, there's a carrier signal in that I can feel a great love inside that energy, right? That's what I can experience with that. But if you get caught in the symptom of what the sound means, like the ringing sound, then you're stuck with the ringing sound. Then you don't hear what's within that, right? You don't get to understand what is within that frequency. Go into the frequency, like what information, what is the vibration, what's within that sound, right? But it's not just a frequency that your ears are attuned to. And many people in the ascension process are experiencing this. And a lot of people go to that place where there must be something wrong, tinnitus, other things. And without realizing, the ringing gets louder, sometimes because someone's trying to get through to you. Someone's trying to communicate with you, and we're not hearing. It's like if you ever don't feed your child, your toddler, if your toddler is hungry and you don't feed them, try doing that for a day. You'll have that kid screaming at you, ah! Right? Ah! Right? And it gets louder and louder. It doesn't get quieter. You ignore your children's needs, they get screaming and yelling, they get frustrated. So if somebody's trying to get through to you from a different dimension, and it's really important for them to do that, they're going to raise the volume up until you hear, right? But also you want to be able to shift your perception from one frequency to another, right? You got to train your awareness to move frequencies so you can tap into different frequencies. What we teach in the course, how to move your awareness out of just your ears and eye reality to the non-physical realms of perception, right? Different frequencies. Cool. Great question, by the way. Oh, you're welcome, Carolyn. Oh, thank you for the pair character, Carolyn. I really appreciate that. Teresa, if if you have time, how are we doing on time? Well, we're good on time here. Hi, Lydia. Okay, first question. If you have time, could you please ask my angel team what I can do to further my ascension? They're saying the first words they said to me is extend your meditation. Extend your meditation by at least another 20 minutes. Extend your meditation. They're saying this is not, you've got to get this quieter. This has to become quieter so that you can hear us. This has to become quieter so you can hear us. And this takes practice. What they're talking about is not is something. It's a skill you have to develop. A lot of people, when in the process of learning meditation, I cannot tell you. Ask a student. We have students on online with us today. I cannot students say in the process of meditation, I fell asleep. You did not fall asleep. You moved your perceptual awareness out of the body, and you lost your reference point of self because you haven't cultivated enough awareness to know that you're not your body mind. When you know you're not your body mind will appear to be asleep, but you will be awake. And so you want to get to that place where this is quiet and you are more awake. And that's what they're basically saying. Get this quiet so you can hear us. Cool. Yeah, I love Gaia too. Hi, Lydia. Thank you for that $5. Hi, William. Does Master Jesus have any messages for me? He's smiling. He's saying, I always have messages. I always have messages for those who have ears to hear. I don't know why he's saying this one. He's saying this one needs to be gentler. This one needs to be gentler. I don't know what that means or what that's in relationship to. What's that in relationship to? Something about your body. There's something you need to be gentler with. There's something that you're putting in your body that's not right for it. I don't know what that is, but he's saying that would be the movement of gentler, to remove that from whatever it is you're doing that's going in your body that's not conducive to it. Be gentler. But that's the big one. Wow, gentler. And it is true. I mean, this is a living organism. People think I'm silly when I say this, but this is an animal. This body is an animal body that I inhabit. It's not who I am. It's a vehicle that I use, right? I mean, it's so obvious that it's doing what I think it to do, right? It's a vehicle, and I can make it jump up and down. I can put alcohol in it. I can put tobacco in it. I can do all kinds of crazy things to this, and it will let me do it. It's an animal I inhabit. I've trained it to be a certain way, and you've trained yours. You want to treat your animal with love. There's a beautiful movie I watched a long time ago called The Golden Compass. Since I've been working with my guides and angels, that movie has taken on a whole new meaning. The Golden Compass. I recommend that movie. If you ever get a chance to watch it, watch The Golden Compass. I was hoping they would do a sequel because it's a very profound movie when you understand the concept that we are spiritual beings living in a physical form. And when you really get that, you start to honor this as you would honor a dog or a cat or your child. You want to start treating this body like it's yours to take care of. Do you love it? Are you kind to it? Many people on this planet are trying to get their life from the body rather than not recognizing they are here to give life to their body, to give more life to your body. Oh, fascinating. Thank you so much. Wonderful questions today. Oh, you're very welcome, Teresa. Wow, that's all the questions we have for today. I think I got through everything. That's amazing. That's amazing, guys. Wow. So yeah, let's just do a quick recap. So my guardian angel John came to me this morning and said it's important that people do an experiment with joy. So for those of you that came on new, remember, today you have a chance to experiment with joy. So go out into a place where there's as many people around as you can find, and find a quiet place where you can just be amongst them, but not obvious to them. So that you should be a quiet observer, and then get into that space, observe how the general tone and mood is, and then move your awareness into a vibration joy. John said you can use a memory of great joy to generate the feeling of joy. You can use if you can't do it just by moving into joy in the present moment, then use a memory or use something that you'd like to happen that if it happened would give you joy. You want to get into the energy of joy, and you want to feel it in your body. You want your body to be feeling it. and you want to radiate that energy out. You want to let that energy flow out and allow what happens. Allow the energy to go out as far as you can in that space and observe what changes from the moment you arrived, say 10 minutes later, what happens. And start to notice how the vibration of your joy, do you recognize more laughter, more joy? Do animals and birds and insects come around you all of a sudden as you're radiating this field out? Because remember, joy is a vibration, and it'll alter time, space, and matter. So please go out and do this today. And when we come back on tomorrow, please share your comments, or even under this video after I put it up on the website, up on YouTube. Please write your comments about your experience with your experiment with joy. The reason he wanted everybody to do this is so that you understand that when we do meditations, when we do the things that we do, we are thinking the things we think and feeling the things we feel. We are altering and organizing time, space, and matter into very specific conditions called our life or our experiences. And Master Jesus constantly tells me, you shall ask for a thing and it should be done unto you. And it's a principle of knowing that when you focus on an idea, think it, you are organizing spirit. It starts to say, okay, you're asking, I will receive, and produce it, you will receive it. So ask and you shall receive. You want to get to the understanding that what you think and feel creates the conditions of your life right now. Right? What you think and feel is creating the conditions of your life. And what you've been told to think and feel can also be creating the conditions of your life. If you're told you're not good enough, then you're going to do things that make you not good enough. You're going to be feeling that way, so you'll be doing things that make you feel that way, whether it's overeating or putting garbage in your body because that's the only thing that you know how to make yourself feel the way that matches that feeling. I'm trying to feel good from my body, but your body's not designed to make you feel better beyond a certain level, right? That's why drugs and alcohol don't work for an extended period of time. It's why addiction doesn't work. Addiction does not work because the body can only reach a certain level chemically from external sources, but you are without limit. And you bring your love and your joy into your body, it will start to reorganize itself in whole new ways. And then you'll learn to take the actions that love and joy take. Let's see. Reflection's asking, got another question here, good. Was asking, what does the number 47 mean for me? I've been seeing it multiple times every day. What does it mean for you? What does that number mean for her? I'm getting a little tickle right in here. Something about, again, I don't know what this means, but something about your sight. You're about to see. You are about to see. Give attention in your meditation reflection. Give attention to your pineal gland. Give deliberate attention. If you need to go online, look up images of the pineal gland and where it's located in the brain, and give attention to the pineal gland. You want to, in your meditation, give a lot of attention, focus and energy to your pineal gland. Then the answer as to what you will see, what they're trying to get you to see, will become obvious, because they're trying to get you to see something. The number 47 is just to let you know we're trying to say something to you. We're trying to get you here. And they're saying, go to the pineal gland, go in there, and again, let us know what occurs for him. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I'm really. This has been a fun week. I'm so honored and privileged that I get to do this. It's and that I get to do it with you guys, and that we get to bring this information out to the world. Like, understand the work that we're doing here is not localized to me or to you. It's something we're synergistically radiating energy out. Every thought, every word, every feeling we have is causing a net effect in time, space, and matter. So the more we are aware of that principle, and it's one of the reasons why John has given us this experiment in joy to do, so that you know from within your own self, not because we've been telling you, but you know from within your own experimental process that certain things are true, right? We've gotten so caught up as a society that we have to find it. The truth comes from out there. No, the truth comes from within you, from your own experience. But if you believe that out there, then you're going to be bound by that truth. And if the truth is you're born to live and suffer and death and taxes, if you're born with those types of beliefs and you accept that truth, then that'll be a reality. That is not reality. That is a reality. And you're free to have that one if you want, right? So important. You are free to live or suffer however you so choose. I prefer joy and love and playfulness and fun and teaching and sharing and growing and evolving, offering love to the world, to every part of it. That's what we're here to do, from my perspective. You don't have to do that. Wonderful. That's okay, Louise. A lot of people call me Michael, and Archangel Michael works a lot with me. It's also my biological middle name that was given to me by my father and by his father and his father before him. No, but that's my middle name. And again, if you call me Michael, that's as good as William. It's the same thing from my will. I am, right? It's the same thing. And again, if you got any comments or questions, if you want to support this work, if you want to learn to become a channel, come to our courses and classes. They start September. You can go register on my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com. Like, you are not just this meat sack you're in, folks. This is not just who you are. This is a mechanism that you express through on this physical dimension. It's not who you are. Your body is not who you are. It's a vehicle you use to express here. Your thoughts are not who you are. They're information that's organized for you to create actions in this world that produce specific results. When you become aware that you can control your thought, you can control your emotion, you can control your destiny, right? You can be on destiny with your life. Literally, once you know how to run the machine, once you know how to drive the Ferrari, you can drive the Ferrari. And your body is a Ferrari. It's a divine Ferrari. Wonderful. So listen, guys, I want to say thank you so much. Let's see what we got here. I'm just checking a couple of other things out before we go, and then we will go. Yeah, there we are there. So, yeah, other ways you can support this work, you can become a member of my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get your divine question asked each month. You can become part of our monthly 1-hour private Q&A for patrons only, which happens on the 7th day and the 7th hour of each month. And you also get the benefit of the free posts. And let's see, what have we got there? Oh yes, and you get entered into the draw for a free reading with me, which we got our second winner who I'll be doing a reading for a little later today. So everybody, have yourselves a joyful day, and I will see you tomorrow on Shortcut for Your Soul. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.